Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am trying to get my banner up at the bottom of this. Whoops. I thought I had it added. Anyway, let's add it. Okay, sorry about that. I am here to do your weekly reading. So, this is covering the collective energy, the astrology that is impacting each and every one of us, the things that we are going to feel or are already feeling this week in the energy, and how we can make the most of it, how we can use this energy to master the week, to have our most successful week. So I do these every single week so that you guys can help yourselves to understand what's going on in this energy, why are these things coming up for me, and how you can use it, because every single energy can be used to make yourself better, to make your life better, to make your week better, whatever. They all have a gift and a blessing within the energies, even when it's more challenging. So this is an important thing to keep in mind. So we're going to talk about the messages that I have had come through. I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology, and then we will build on the messages with my giant deck of tarot cards and explore what else we need to do. We're going to build on those messages. So I called this week something like lean in and learning, because I think that there is a lot of learning that's happening for us now. We are learning in the game of life, right? You might actually be learning. You might be studying something new or letting yourself learn about something new. And that's a beautiful thing. We want to make sure that we are always growing and expanding our minds. But I also want you to pay attention this week to what is it that you seem to be learning? What if the universe or God were a teacher for you? What do we think the lesson is here? And it's not just this week. It's we're really going to be in this reflective, this learning place. We are officially in Mercury retrograde. I talked a bit about that last time, but now also this week on December 6th, we are going to be in Mars retrograde as well. And Mars retrograde lasts longer than Mercury retrograde. I believe that Mercury retrograde lasts until mid-December. And Mars retrograde is going to go into the new year, and it's going to wrap up at the very end of February. So it lasts a little bit longer. And Mars is this planet of inertia, of drive, of, I would say it's like the warrior, right? And so I think that we may find with it in retrograde that we're going to feel a little bit slowed down. We might not feel like that same warrior that we typically would. We might not feel as strong as we typically would. Definitely, we're going to find ourselves feeling slowed down, stuck in the mud, because retrogrades are all about a slowing down, a reflection. And it's meant to help us to understand things from different perspectives, to reflect, to get to know ourselves better, to revisit certain things that we need to revisit. Certainly, Mercury retrograde is inviting us to do that, to revisit. Now, I always tend to look at whenever we're in Mercury retrograde, and you guys will agree we're in Mercury retrograde a lot, right? It's about 4 times a year. And this tends to be a time period that people dislike typically, right? Where they're like, oh, this is a lot of work, or this is a pain. And it is a pain. Like, there are things that will go wrong, to just give an example, because like silly little things will go wrong. Like yesterday, I was scheduled to be on somebody's podcast and came into the office to get into the studio and to be able to film that. And couldn't do that because the office, it was already being used. And that's okay. Like, I just went with the flow, right? But there was like that moment, like, oh, this is totally Mercury retrograde, where I have to go in and make do with some kind of other setup, because Mercury retrograde is about delays. It's about little issues coming up. It is about us taking a look. And so at the past and what we need to learn from it. And that's the theme that I see here with this Mercury retrograde, is not going backwards, not reuniting with people, or not revisiting for the sake of like going backwards and staying in the past, or reconnecting with something from the past that we've already moved past. It's about learning from the past this time around. So it's about letting ourselves learn from what's coming up for us in the present moment. How is that sparking or triggering issues from the past? It might look similar, or it might be an actual issue from the past, a person from the past, whatever. You might find yourself just all of a sudden thinking about something that you haven't thought about in a long time. And it's like, oh, I thought that I dealt with this. That's kind of the vibe here with this. And if you guys didn't catch last week, make sure you go back, because I do describe that better last week in more detail last week. But it's also a time where there are delays and issues with technology and things like that. So I always say, give yourself more time for everything. Expect the unexpected. Expect that you might have to pivot, just like I did with switching and recording without my equipment in my office. So like that kind of stuff we want to be doing during this time period. But what are you learning, or what can you learn from the past stuff that's coming up? Can you take a look at that and say, oh, I would have done this better. And had I known what I know now, I would have done this differently. Can we look at that and say that, and not for the purpose of making ourselves feel badly or even to shame ourselves? That's not what this is about. This is just about learning. We're all just here figuring it out. We're all just trying to do the best we can, or hopefully we are. And so this isn't about making yourself feel badly about this. This is about letting yourself understand yourself better and approach situations that are coming up in the present from a place of clarity, from a place of understanding, from a place of knowing that you don't have to repeat the same cycles that you've been repeating for a long time. So I'm curious, like, I would love to hear you guys share, like, what are you learning this week? Like, what's coming up for you? Where is the past kind of rearing its ugly head? Where is that fear coming to the surface? How is that maybe connected to the past, or something that you've learned from the past? And what can you do about it? How can you address it in a way that's different? How can you show up differently now, knowing the things that you know now, so that you're not destined to just simply repeat the pattern, repeat the struggle, repeat the lesson, so that you can move forward? I feel like there's an opportunity here for us to do that. So hopefully we're doing that. Now, I also think that as we're in these retrogrades, we're slowing down, and we should allow ourselves to slow down. It's a little bit of opposing energies in some ways, because I do feel like there's a lot going on, at least especially for people who are celebrating the holidays in some form. Or I don't know about you guys, I just like December is always such a busy month for me. And so I think that we're very busy, and we're in Sagittarius season. That's very, to me, Sagittarius energy, where we're out celebrating, enjoying people, and leaning into the adventure that is life. And so we want to be doing that for sure. But we also want to be finding that balance where we are going within, where we are reflecting, where we are focusing more on self-care and honoring ourselves when we feel more tired. I feel absolutely exhausted today. And so I'm going to definitely go to bed early, because I know that that's what I'm needing today. I didn't go to the gym today because I knew that I needed just some extra rest today. So it's just about tuning in and listening and honoring it. Now, something else. I feel this week for so many people that there are some opportunities, or some new beginnings, or some things that are happening, or maybe have already happened, that are starting to be in progress, that we are invited to lean into. And that's going to serve us really well. And it might surprise you. It might be something that you're like, oh, like I didn't really expect this. This seemed to come out of the blue and I wasn't expecting it, but we want to lean into it. Maybe we're even feeling fearful about that because we don't want to feel like too hopeful about it, or it's very new, or it's a very new opportunity, and we don't really know what we're getting into here, right? Like we feel like our intuition is pulling us in a direction, but we don't quite understand exactly where the path is going. But that's intuition, right? Intuition says, just take the next step. Intuition doesn't say, I'm going to give you the big picture, the full picture, the exact final destination of where you're going. It's saying, just take the next step on the path. And the path I can't speak right now, will reveal itself as we move along the path. And that's how intuition works. So I think we're going to feel this intuitive prompt to lean into something or lean into some things. And this is your validation to lean into that. Certainly, this is a general reading, right? So that's not going to apply for everyone, and you have to use your own discernment. I get really irritated when I hear that people use these readings as though it's a personal reading for them, because that's not what this is about, right? Like it's never me being your guru. This is about me helping to spark your intuition so that you can listen to it and you can honor it, because like to me, that's where the power lies. I don't want you to hand the power over to me. I don't want you to hand your decisions over to me. This is about trusting your own intuition. But I think for a lot of you, your intuition is going to say, lean in to some kind of new opportunities or new circumstances. We're in a brand new era. We are in Pluto and Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius now. This is about amazing developments happening here on the planet, and amazing developments happening for us individually and for us collectively. And so we want to allow this to unfold. And I think that a lot of things do look different, will look different. And we want to keep leaning into that, letting ourselves be led. And it's a new era, so it might look very different from the old era, and that's okay. This is such a beautiful time of new beginnings. So we may need to slow down and listen so that we can tune in with ourselves and make sure that this is something that we do want to lean into. But I think for a lot of people, we're going to find ourselves doing that. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that. And with Mars retrograde, I also think like it's such a time to prioritize your health, your wellness, your mental and emotional well-being, all of that. And so being sure that we're making that the priority as we navigate all of this, right? Like if you're leaning into something and it's really sparking that, it's really triggering you a lot, making sure that you're just balancing that out, right? Maybe you don't have to take a huge leap of faith. Maybe you just take little steps moving in the direction of a leap of faith. So you get to decide what that looks like, and you get to be on that journey. So let's pull some cards and see where things are at. You guys are quiet today. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on for you. What are you leaning into? What are you choosing to lean into? What are you learning about in your life, on your life's journey? What do you feel like the lesson is that the universe is teaching you right now? What does that look like? What are you working together with God, the divine, whatever you want to call that, to make yourself better, to understand yourself better, to work on the shadow aspects of yourself so that you can be an even better version of yourself, even on the other side of this Mercury retrograde? What does that look like for you? And we are going to pull some cards, build on those messages. I do want to highlight, I have a website at the bottom because I have officially my holiday specials up on several different things. So many of you guys have been amazing with the Upgrade Your Life Hypnosis package. So I have a coupon code. Are they even called coupon codes? I don't know. A promo code for that. On that list, I have a whole list. I have gift cards that you can purchase with a special bonus with that. I have discounts on my Learn to Read Tarot class if you want to do a deep dive into learning tarot intuitively and traditionally. And what else do I have? I have discounted rates on my membership. So you book it at that rate, and that will be your rate until if ever you decide to cancel the Clarity by Christy membership. So lots of options. And the membership, I think I have it up there for like $8.88 a month. And it's energy sessions to help balance your energy out. It's hypnosis sessions. It's classes. It's a monthly reading where I highlight the month ahead. It is this month. Next week, we're going to be doing a live card pull. I'm going to pull cards for anybody who's there live, who's in my membership. So if you want to have me pull cards for you individually, join the membership so that you can be a part of that. All right, 2 more cards, and then we will dive into the cards that I have. I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys are watching this on my YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Always is helpful. Please hit the like button. Please share this with anybody that you feel like needs to hear these messages this week. Lots of we're moving beyond lots of changes. I think that life is starting to look really different if we're leaning in, if we're embracing it. So let's take a look at the cards. I mean, talk about leaning in. The Two of Wands is all about leaning in. The Two of Wands is about a willingness to leave our comfort zone. And maybe we've been in our comfort zone. I kind of get the vibe with this, like we've been in our comfort zone for a long time. We've been kind of like sitting pretty and kind of doing the same thing. And the universe is coming in and it's saying, it's time to leave your comfort zone. Oh, thank you, Mexa. I look pretty. Hi, it's nice to see you on here. Yeah, it's time to leave your comfort zone. It's time to step out into the world in whatever way you're feeling called to. But this is really saying, lean into something. Lean into the new adventure. Sagittarius season is all about adventure. Lean into the adventure that is life and stop taking it all so seriously, right? It's okay. It's okay for us to lean in and to experience new things. And I think as we shake it up, we're going to be really grateful that we did. But I think that that's not going to come without some level of worry, right? We have the 9 of Swords. I want you to pay attention to what worries, what thoughts are coming to mind, what fears are coming to mind, because it feels like in this energy that there are opportunities to take a look at that and go, why am I so afraid of that? And what do I need to learn through the fear? What would be helpful for me to understand? This is also, the 9 of Swords is also about releasing yourself from something that has felt like a never-ending nightmare. And I think there's a lot of cycles being broken this week. So if there's something in your life that has felt like a never-ending nightmare, I think if you lean in or choose to learn from experiences, that you can close that out, right? You can begin to create a life that you're excited about, a life that feels better. But there has to be the willingness with that. And we have to be willing to acknowledge the fear, to honor the fear, but also to not let that determine the choices and the decisions that we're making. Because when we're making choices from fear, typically that's not going to help us very much. And we also want to not let that fear hold us back from some way that we're feeling called to expand or grow, or to not lean into some kind of new beginning. I kind of get that self-doubt vibe with this. Oh, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if I deserve this, or that feels really exciting, but I also am worried, can I actually do this? And I think if it's something that your soul wants, you were built for it. You're capable of it. So leaning into that. And then we have the Moon card in reverse. Yeah, we're still in this energy of truth coming to light, seeing things for what they are, understanding things from maybe different perspectives, or feeling like, oh, wow, I didn't really think it was this, but now I understand that it's this, right? Like, it's a truth. It's an understanding. It's a knowing that maybe we've been under an illusion for a period of time, right? We had, I think, has it come out of retrograde? It's coming out of retrograde soon. Neptune has been in retrograde, and that is about illusion. And I think we're starting to see illusions be broken, right? Like, if it wasn't built on a solid foundation, we've pulled that tower card many times in these weekly readings. So anything that wasn't built on a solid foundation, I think we're going to see the truth of it. And there's a lot of potential for change around that. But again, talk about leaning in. Like, the Fool is literally leaning in. He's going to walk right off that cliff because he trusts his higher power so much. He trusts the vision. He trusts the direction. He knows where he's going. Right. And so again, and he is such an adventurer. He's getting ready. He's starting a new adventure. So this is also about leaning into new adventures and being willing to do that again, in spite of that fear that's coming up for you. And we might just, I also get the energy with this card that it's like, but also keep it simple. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be, because in some situations, maybe it's not that serious, or maybe we're making it more serious than it needs to be. And if we just lean in and watch the way that unfolds, it could be something really beautiful. The Lover's card. Yeah, I think this is all about, I have to cover the naked people for YouTube. This is all about, I feel like, deep soul connections, whether that's in friendship, whether that's in relationships, right? I think we're meeting a lot of our people right now. I think we're meeting a lot of our people this week. We've been meeting a lot of our people, or we're deepening our connections in relationships this week, this month. Like, I just feel like there's so much goodness coming into our experience now because we've been focused on clearing and releasing. And it's like, yeah, now I can surround myself with the people who honor me, who match where I'm at now, not who match where I was at in the past. Because again, we're in this energy where we need to learn from the past. And part of what we need to learn from the past is recognizing when something is no longer a fit, and recognizing when we're feeling an intuitive pull in the direction of someone or a group of people, or an experience with people, when we need to do that, because it can really work to our benefit. So like, this is going to require some faith and some trust in the process. Again, just take the next step. You don't have to know where the path is going. The Two of Pentacles, I also see, like, this to me is that reflection energy. And we might be looking at how we're spending, how we're investing our money, what we want to do with our money. We might be making some changes in regard to that. We might be making some changes in regard to how we're investing our time, who we're investing our time with. And I think, like, leaning into some things and pulling our energy back from others so that we can feel more stable and more connected and more supported financially and otherwise here in this world. So those are your messages for the week. Let me know if you guys made it all the way through this video. I always love to hear from you in comments what's going on for you. So some of you guys are amazing with that. Please share. I love to hear from you, or just say hi, or just put an emoji, whatever. All of it helps, but I love to see it. And I love to see who's watching and who's connecting. So feel free to do that. Again, feel free to tag anybody that needs to hear these messages this week. But I love you guys. I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you soon with another video. Take care. Oh, and check out my holiday specials. All right. Bye.